Hey Pepperheads, welcome to another video in our pepper growing series. We're moving along here this growing season. Last video we were transplanting out our starts because we still got one more phase to go before it's our last frost here, still in a few more weeks. So we got to still keep them going. We got some lights set up that I'm going to show you here in just a little bit. Plus, I've got this cool little start cart that I came up with a few years ago. We'll talk a little bit more about that as well too. Let's get growing. So all right, everybody, thanks again for joining with me here on our pepper growing series video. This is the next video in the whole growing playlist that we're putting together here on the Urban Gardener channel to take you along with how I grow all of my peppers. I've been doing this kind of process now for several years, so I'm here to share with you all about how I just get my peppers from seedling to growing fruits and saving seeds too as well. Throughout the whole gardening season, we got a lot to talk about, and we're just moving along right now. In this video, last time around, I was showing you how we transplant our starts from our 72 cell seed trays that we use to get them started. We've now got them moved on into our 2-cup party cup kind of setup here that we've got here, so that our plants can feed from the bottom and bring up all of the water and nutrients into the root system. Really great setup here. So go back and check out the last video if you did get to see that, how we transplant them in there. In fact, this is a Testarossa variety that we're growing and going to be keeping an eye on here. As long as we can keep it alive and keep it growing well. This is such a beautiful plant. Look how dark those leaves are. Just a wonderful, wonderful plant. We'll do some seed saving. So we'll be isolating pods and doing that sort of stuff. Again, down the road, some more here in the video series that we're putting together throughout this year. So we'll keep an eye on this Testarossa variety, but we've got them all transplanted now, and we want to move them on to their next kind of light phase, if you will, here in the indoor setup that we have here indoors. Before we get them moving outdoors, we still got a few more weeks until the last frost. And then in a few weeks, we can take them outside and put them in the sunlight and get them used to being outdoors in what will be a hardening off process that we'll cover as well too. And but we got to get them and keep them here indoors still. So I got another setup that we're going to talk about here today in this video. And as I mentioned too, we've got this cool, what I call a start cart. It took me years to kind of find out a name for this thing too. So I will show you that here in just a minute as well too, because it holds all of our cups that we've got here. We've got lots of plants still, about 50 plants or more that we still got that we're going to be growing here through this next phase, and this start cart just kind of keeps them handy for us so that we can get them indoors and outdoors. Especially, you'll see as we're moving on to that hardening off phase, this thing really helps out. So we'll talk about that here a little bit coming up as well too. We'll talk about the lights and the whole setup here that you can see we got hanging up above. So we've got some new lights that we're going to be putting all of these starts under. So let's get right down to it. Let's get these starts all set up. We'll talk about our start cart and this whole light setup. We got again, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for joining with us here throughout this whole series. And if you have any questions or comments or anything at all, I would love to hear from you right down in the comments below. Anything you would like to see as we're moving forward into the growing season, questions you might have about things that we've already talked about, please definitely get down into the comment section below. I'd love to talk to you all about it right down there. Let me know. And let's go check out these start carts. So I said we got a lot of these little seedlings we transplanted into our cups in the last video. I think there's somewhere over 50, definitely 55 maybe, of these that we saved. Some of them we will give to some friends and others as well too. We'll find maybe some other spaces in the garden, but we got to keep these together and keep them manageable as we've got to continue the process here as we move along. We also going to have to keep them together as we're bringing them indoors and outdoors during the hardening off process that's going to be coming up here in just a couple of weeks. So a few years back, trying to figure out what I'm going to do to be able to manage all of these different seedlings that I had, I thought of this cool little cart. And basically all it is 3-inch holes that we've drilled into these 2 foot by 2 foot pieces of plywood, and we spaced them out pretty equally apart, 4 by 4, equaling 16 all together. Got these like 1 inch by 1 inch. I think these were just kind of some stakes I got on sale at the hardware store when I was getting the casters as well too. So we got these little caster wheels that we've put onto these little 1 inch by 1 inch stakes, and attach those to the bottom of this 2 foot by 2 foot plywood here. And that's going to make a nice little cart, as you see here, that we can either move around or wheel around here on the floor. Works perfect here for this space. And then as well too, like I said, we're going to have to take all of these pepper starts and take them indoors and outdoors during the hardening off process before we get them planted outside. So we'll be able to carry these outdoors as well too. At 2 foot by 2 foot, it's a little squeeze, but they do manage themselves right out the doors, no problem too. So we get those indoors, outdoors, keep them all kind of bundled together. As you can see, they fit just right in there nicely, and they're perfect. And like I said, when they're all together like that, we'll be able to lift them. They're not that heavy, but again, too, it is some weight. You do have to be able to manage picking these up in order to do this here as well. If not, you might find maybe a smaller version of something like this, or another way of being able to handle your different starts. But I can still quite manage it myself here now. Maybe not too much longer, who knows, but we'll see. But they do work really, really well to keep them together. I've got 3 of them here too that we'll put right here in a row up under some new set of lights that all of these pepper starts will grow under for the next couple of weeks. So that's what we'll do now. Is I'll go ahead and get all of our pepper starts all loaded up in here, and then we'll talk about these new lights that we're going to be using as well to keep these things growing and growing nicely. So there we are. We've got all of our pepper starts bundled together on our carts, our pepper start carts, if you will. I love that. But again, too, they're going to be very, very helpful as we're moving indoors, outdoors in the coming weeks. When we start doing that, you'll know more. You'll understand that as we get to the hardening off process. But nice and set up all together. We ended up with about 54 plants all together. We'll do some giving away with some of these extras. There's still going to be a couple of extras out of the main 48 that we chose for the garden space. But again, now that they're all bundled together, we're going to need to get some lights There is still indoors. We need some artificial light on these plants if they're going to stay indoors over the next few weeks. So what I did is I set up for our start carts is a nice little setup here up above the start carts. I've got, it's just basically a board that we painted and attached all of these different light fixtures. They're just some of these ceramic light fixtures, and the way they're attached there too allows us to adjust them up and down above our starts, similar to our light station where we had the shop lights that can come up and down. These will allow us to bring our lamps up just a little bit more above them to keep them nice and close. Again, we want to keep as strong a light on them as possible. So we will keep them nice and close and then adjust them up as we need to. So that's going to really help out having that adjustable like that. And then as well too, they're all hooked up there here, set up on an extension cord all together, and they kind of line right down here to a timer. And then we got them all set up on a timer here that we can adjust so that the lights come on and off at the amount of time that we want. Now, they were going about 12 hours over on the light station, but now that they're moving over here and now that we're getting ready to move them outdoors, I'm going to increase the light on them a bit more as well too. We're going to go to about 14 hours, and then here in about a week I'll bump it up to 16 hours, and that'll get them really close to about the time of light that they're going to get when we get them moving out into the sunlight. So that's what we're going to be doing as well too. So we got a nice timer set up here, and then here we've got our lamps we're going to use. Basically, these are some LED corn lamps, as they're called, 360 degrees. They're all on the bottom and all of that as well too. These put out a lot of light. I use them around the house for some of our indoor plants as well too. They give out a really good sufficient amount of really intense light. So we're going to set those up into our light fixtures. Get these babies all lit up. So there we go. Looks really great. We got some great light on all of these starts here. They're going to be doing really well, all put together on the start cart up underneath of our lamps that we've got here. Like I said, these are going to be just enough, just a great source. I've used them now for several years. It works really, really well just as it is. Very similar output to our light station that we have. The LEDs there, and these ones are about 6,000 Kelvin, about 5,000 lumens on these here. Again, just enough. And as long as we keep them right nice and close to all of them, they're going to do really, really well and grow really well. But one ways I can improve this setup though too is something I want to work on maybe this year, maybe next year, but I want to kind of create kind of a cover that I can attach to all three of the lights here to run across the top of all of our carts and create kind of a reflective cover. Maybe utilizing some sort of mylar and some sort of structure that could kind of attach to each three of those. And again, make a really nice cover above all of our starts here. and just bounce that light around really a lot more than it is. And that would be just a really great improvement on what we already have. But like I said, this works out really well. These plants are going to be doing great. So all right, there we go. That should about do it for today's video. We've got all of our plants all set up back here behind me right now under the lights. They're going to really probably start seeing a really good growth spurt here real soon now with all these new lights and the new containers. With all that new space, those roots are going to just really start growing real soon. So the plants are going to be just really starting to take off here before we know it. So that is going to take us to what we're going to talk about in our next video. I kind of talked about this before in a previous video, but what am we doing to feed and water and fertilize these starts and plants now that they're starting to really mature and have moved on to this new phase? We'll talk about that in our next video. It's a nice, simple, easy, do-it-yourself type of situation as well, just like all of the rest of this. It's why I wanted to share this all with you as well too, is because all of this stuff is really just nice and simple and inexpensive. And as far as I can tell you, it's worked for me for many years. So again, too, just a really great system. I hope you're all enjoying it so far. And if you do have any questions or concerns or thoughts or ideas that you might have for anything that we've been showing, or any questions or ideas for things that we could show in videos coming up in this series, definitely jump into the comment section below. I'd love to hear from all of you. I'd love to answer any of your questions that you might have. So definitely do that. And before we finish up this video, I'd love for you to hit that thumbs up, click the like button, hit the subscribe as well to the bell notifications so you can be notified of all of our upcoming videos and live streams. Plus, share with all of your friends. Let them know about the Urban Gardener channel. Let them know about the Let's Get Growing show here on the Urban Gardener channel. I'd love to see all of you there as well too. But we got lots and lots to talk about. I hope you've been enjoying the series so far. I'll see all of you on the next video.